Every year, hundreds of thousands of students across Oregon rely on their schools for food, primarily free and reduced price lunch and breakfast. And those kids were put in a tough spot when schools closed during the COVID-19 pandemic. A number of efforts popped up to try and get meals to the students when the schools were closed down, and later, Oregon's Department of Human Services sent out EBT food cards to families to help out. Only the rollout had a big mistake, and 2 years later, DHS made the same mistake again. Thousands of families who were not eligible for the EBT cards got them anyway. Here's what happened. DHS was supposed to send those cards to families who have kids. Each kid would get $391. The kids were eligible for the cards if they themselves were eligible for free or reduced price lunch, or if they were under 6 and got SNAP benefits. They could also have been eligible if they went to what's called a community eligibility provision school. Those are high poverty schools where more than 40% of the students are eligible for free and reduced price lunch, so the entire school gets that. That is important to remember for later on. But last month, DHS sent those EBT cards to students who were not eligible, about 3,700 of them. That's about $1.46 million that they should not have sent out. DHS says they've recovered about $1.32 million, which means all told, they're out about $140,000 in taxpayer money. DH says if someone got a card by mistake and spent any of the money on it, they won't have to pay any of it back, and they can use the rest of the balance on the card. DHS will not try to get it back. But for people who had not spent any of the money, DHS was able to go in and clear out the balance on those cards. They no longer have any money on them. So here's the thing. DHS made the exact same mistake in the exact same way 2 years ago. In that case, they sent out a lot more money, $7.8 million on EBT cards, to about 5,800 students who, again, were not eligible for them. This happened in November of 2021. They were able to recover about $5 million of that money. So, how did it happen twice? DHS tells us their contractor, a company called Deloitte, mistakenly designated schools as community eligibility provision schools. Remember, those are the schools where every student gets free lunch because the eligibility number is so high. Well, Deloitte's automated process designated several schools as CEP when they were not. So everyone at those schools got those EBT cards. Now, apparently they didn't learn the first time because Deloitte did the same thing in this case. So we asked DHS if they continue to plan to contract with Deloitte after 2 mistakes. They didn't really answer our question, but they did tell us that they're working with the contractor to figure out how it happened again and how to prevent it in the future. Let's hope so.